All right. Good morning and welcome to our June 8th eye opener here at the Battle Creek Area Chamber of Commerce. As all of you saw on our notification that this was happening, we are in hopes that this is our last virtual eye opener, as it has been a full year plus of our eye openers. So we are working with the Cool Family Center again, and we are looking at the capacities hopefully being back up in September. So when our eye openers resume in September, we hope to be in person in the Lou Boyd room at the Cool Family Center.
Oh. Karen.
All right.
The chamber.
Karen Ryle, if I could have you mute your phone, that'd be awesome. Thank you. All right. And so we are excited about what's going on in regards to the eye opener. Today, we are very fortunate to have Ryan and Esther Leonard, who will be speaking to us about what's going on in the housing market in Calhoun County. We'll get to them in just a second. We've got a couple things to go through before we get to that, but we're going to go ahead and get started and jump right in. All right, so again, as the agenda shows you, we are going to do welcome and introductions, which is the who's in the Zoom. We'll go through that. There is an icebreaker question in there for you all. So be paying attention to that when you do your presentation. I will call on you and have you do your introduction at that time. I will also introduce all of our new members that we have going on right now. We also have our member anniversaries. We talk a little bit about our field trip Fridays that we do. We have one coming up here in June. And then we talk a little bit more about some of our live in-person events that we announced just yesterday and be a little bit before. So we want to make sure that we bring your attention to that. We'll do an introduction of our speakers and then they will present and we will have questions and answers. So we're going to dive right in. So for those of you who are new to this call, this is called Who's in the Zoom. This is really just an opportunity for us to do self-introductions. And so we are all about wanting to know who's here and where you're from. So keep going. All righty. There we go. All right. So who is in the Zoom? When you get called on, if you will do your name, your title, your organization, and what was your highlight moment in the last month, that is going to be appropriate. I'll go first so that you hear. My name is Kara Beer. I am the president of the Battle Creek Area Chamber of Commerce. And the highlight moment in this last month was I actually celebrated 10 years here at the Chamber of Commerce. And that is my highlight. That was on June 6th was my 10-year anniversary. I actually reached, I had the board chair reach out yesterday to me from when I first started. And we talked a little bit about the fact that the first day I met him at Starbucks. So remember when Starbucks was across the street from the chamber office and he walked me over for the first time. So, and that was Travis Morris. So just a really cool memory, but it was a highlight to be able to celebrate 10 years here in this organization as the CEO. So that was my great thing. So what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to go through the list of how I have it here on the screen. And you can unmute yourself and go through the who's in the Zoom. All right, first up is John Gaida.
Good morning. My name's John Gaida, and I work for Ernst & Young. Probably my highlight moment from the last month was being able to walk into businesses without a mask for the first time.
Yes.
Oh, all right. I forgot I'm a chamber board member also.
Very good. All right, Senator Bison. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. He's driving. Okay.
Here I go.
There you go.
Thank you. Senator Bison, I work for you. You pay my check. And my highlight moment was getting a bill passed by both the House and the Senate that'll make it much easier for our military members when they move around to be able to be registered here, or when they leave the service to bring the knowledge that they have back here to the state of Michigan. And we anticipate that bill will be signed tomorrow, as a matter of fact. But I think that would be my June highlight.
Wonderful. Thank you, Senator Bison. Morgan? All right. Karen Ryle.
Good morning. This is Karen Ryle with Partners Insurance Agency of Southwest Michigan. I'm a chamber ambassador and been with the chamber for a number of years. I'm trying to recall, I think it's probably about 15 years. So my highlight of the moment of the last month is what's already been stated, is to be able to go without your mask and have the security of knowing that things are going to be okay. And also the joy of being able to see my elderly aunts and meeting with them in a close environment. It's been very delightful.
Great. You guys are already the speakers, but I'm going to call on Esther and Ryan. If you'll go ahead and tell us who's in the Zoom.
Yeah, hey everyone. My name is Ryan Leonard, and it's my wife Esther Leonard, and I am a co-broker owner of EXP Realty in Battle Creek. And my highlight of this past month was I took a short trip out of state and returning home and seeing my beautiful wife and my daughter.
You had some beautiful
stayed at
pictures,
home.
Ryan. You must have had a great
Yeah.
time.
Yep.
I was
Great.
on a motorcycle. Highlight that.
Yep.
And Esther, what's your highlight moment?
Well, we're kind of joining you in the 10-year mark. 10 years in real estate, and how ironic and beautiful that probably 10 years ago, Carrie, you and I connected and looked at a
Absolutely.
few houses. So that's pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you. And we'll hear more about you guys here in just a little bit. Pat Fotstick.
Good morning. Pat Fosdick. I do marketing advertising with Senior Times, South Central Michigan. And I would say that my highlight was attending the 100th birthday celebration of a senior in Calhoun County, out at Calhoun County Medical Center. There we go. It was delightful, and she was very attuned to what was happening. She had a little tiara on her head and a big banner on her body, and she had a great time waving at people as we drove by and beeped and wished her well.
Wonderful. All right, TR.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm TR Shaw. I have Shaw Communication. I'm also an author and a speaker, and I chair the Chamber's Military Affairs Committee. My highlight moment of the month is last month I began flight training to pursue my pilot's license. So I've been flying over Battle Creek a little bit, so don't panic too much. See a plane kind of wobbling around, looking like it's in distress. So, but we're getting used to it. So great to be here.
That's great. That's a great moment. All right. Carly Kane Maystad.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carly. I am an independent living specialist with Disability Network of Southwest Michigan. My highlight of last month is just honestly being able to spend more time, like quality time with family. It's been long overdue for a lot of us, so I'm just happy to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Jim Hodsma.
Good morning, Kara and others. I'm Jim Hodsma, State House. I'm the representative for the Battle Creek and Albion communities and the townships between those communities. Highlight of my last month was pushing through another semester of kids getting through law school, grad school, and Albion College respectively. So getting set for the autumn and also a hill to climb this summer with helping my daughter do some summer law school coursework. But to get through another year and kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel was my highlight of May.
Great. All right, Amy Rose Robinson.
Hi, I'm Amy Rose Robinson, and I'm the Property and Project Coordinator for the Calhoun County Land Bank Authority. And I think my highlight for the last month was discovering that we had completed 50 Transform This Home projects. The Land Bank has a signature program for housing rehab and the program was launched in 2015. So we celebrated 50 projects completed not completed, but 50 projects sold in this month.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Teresa Huggett.
Good morning, Teresa Allen from Charitable Union. And my highlight for this month was learning that we are going to have new neighbors on Calhoun Street with BC Pride moving in shortly. So we're really excited about that.
Wonderful. Welcome, Teresa Huggett.
Hi, Teresa Cheney Huggett from Southwest Michigan PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Center. We help small businesses and businesses of all sizes learn how to contract with governmental agencies, state, local, federal. My highlight was my daughter, son-in-law, and my 3.5-year-old grandson have come from North Carolina this last week, and I've been getting to spend a lot of quality time with my grandson.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right, Krista Trout Edwards.
Good morning, everyone. I am the director at the Calhoun County Land Bank Authority, and my highlight of the last month was getting some grant funding from the State Land Bank Authority and the Department of Treasury for a project that we've been working on for years in the city of Albion for a downtown building to do some remediation of a blighted structure. Getting some help from Jim Hodsma to make that come to fruition. So we're really excited about that and carrying out that project.
Great. Well, welcome and thank you for being here. Mary Fortney.
Good morning. I'm Mary Fortney. I'm a program development coordinator for Disability Network Southwest Michigan. We are what's called a Center for Independent Living for persons with disabilities, and there are about 300 to 400 of us throughout the country. And I mentioned that because I guess my highlight of the last month was that our Center for Independent Living, myself and 2 other coworkers have been chosen out of all of them in the country. Only 9 CILs were chosen to participate in a specialized training in creating programming for minority youth and underreached youth with disabilities. And so that will wrap up November 2021.
Wonderful. Congratulations. Beth Pung.
Hi, I'm Beth Pung. I work at the chamber. Karen and I are in the same place, so it's probably going to echo. I would say that my highlight of the past month was I was able to take a little trip to Denver, and while there we were able to go to Red Rocks and see the sunrise. So that was pretty neat little adventure.
Great. Chad Timmerman.
Morning, everyone. My name is Chad Timmerman, and I am with Upjohn Research Institute and Michigan Works Southwest. I'm the Internship and Resources Coordinator for Calhoun and Branch County. I'm back in the office this morning, and there's not enough light in here, but oh well. Highlight moment in the last month, probably just seeing my oldest daughter finish her freshman year of college softball and moving back home. It's nice to have her back.
Well, we'll check back with you about 3 months in.
It's kind of already wearing too, but it's nice to have her.
That newfound freedom that they found and then they moved back home is always interesting.
I remember it well.
Jennifer Blank. We'll come back, Jen.
There.
Oh,
Okay. Hi. Sorry, everybody. I lost my place. Good morning. I'm Jennifer Blank. I'm your finance person at the Chamber. And I would say overwhelmingly the return to normal and the hope for the future is the highlight moment of last month for me. So.
great. Well, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right. I have Leah Ortiz is next.
Good morning, everyone. Leah Ortiz with the ARC of Calhoun County. I'm also a chamber board member. My highlight probably for the last month has been the opening of BC Cargo downtown Battle Creek. So we have a social enterprise down there called Their Looms, and I'm super excited because last year while we were at the cargo units, we were one of 2 social enterprises that were open, and this year every single cargo unit is filled. So if you've not had a chance to go down to BC Cargo downtown next to Full Blast, please check it out. There's food, there's clothing, there's furniture, there's books and natural oil soaps. So there's something for everyone Tuesday through Saturday. So everyone have a great week.
Great. Thank you, Leah. All right. I've got Hillary Dolby.
Good morning, everybody. I am a partner with B2B CFO, and we provide strategic executive level finance advice to small and medium businesses. And in addition to being out and about in the world and meeting friends for dinner, I am excited because I signed a new client last month.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Jeff Campbell.
Good morning, Jeff Campbell with Horizon Bank, Commercial Loan Officer. My highlight moment last month was when we were finally able to come back to the office. All of my pre-pandemic workflows still fit.
Woo!
Victory.
There you go. All right, Alicia Marvin.
Hi, good morning. My name is Alicia Marvin. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm also driving in. I am the Food and Beverage Community Coordinator with Firekeepers Casino Hotel. My highlight is I've made a lot of progress on my garden pond area. I added over 30 perennial flowers. I still have a lot of space to fill. And I have a 20 by 25 foot Wilby pond that used to be a partially in-ground pool before we bought the house years ago. And I've collected a lot of rocks and added a lot of dirt to shape it. And this weekend I'm ready to put the liner in.
Wow, that sounds like a fun.
It's a lot of work.
Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. All right, Karen Todd.
Morning, everyone. Karen Todd with the Michigan Senate. I work in State Senator John Bison's office. Highlight of the last month, being able to get out and get to events on behalf of Senator Bison. Things are opening up, so people are starting to have events. We've presented several tributes this month, so that's been great. And also, my daughter graduated from Penfield High School a couple weeks ago. Thanks.
Awesome. Congratulations. And it was great to see Karen and her husband at the ribbon cutting for Urban League celebrating 55 years. So great job. All right, Diane Thompson. Okay, Gary Tompkins.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Gary Tompkins. I'm the Vice Chair of the Calhoun County Board of Commissioners. I represent District 7, which is the east side of Calhoun County. And I would say probably the highlight last month since the start of my diet, I'm down 41.2 pounds and got to spend some time with my family celebrating our birthdays. So great to see everybody virtually. Good morning.
Well, great job on the weight loss. Congratulations. And thank you to everybody. I'm going to give you all a round of applause for being here today. Thank you for joining us. If I did forget you on who's in the Zoom, please just send a note in chat and let us know that you're here. All right, we're going to move on to the next thing. Maybe. There you go. Just for those of you who needed my contact information, it is in there for you. My email is kbeer@battlecreek.org. If you are interested in emailing me about anything that we talk about today, and I can get that over to the appropriate folks. All right, so we are very excited to say welcome to the new members here of Battle Creek Area Chamber of Commerce, Rotary Club of Battle Creek, OEO Energy Solutions, which is one of our new member benefits, If you have not checked out the OEO Energy Solutions member benefit, you can find that on our website at battlecreek.org. That is the preferred vendor that Consumers Energy is using to replace all of your lights to LED at no cost to you. So if you want to check that out, check in with the OEO Energy Solutions member discount on our website. And then also welcome to Magna Cosma Casting out in the Fort for joining the chamber. They are looking at hiring new folks. They are doing lots of great projects out there. We have some familiar faces in the management roles out at Magna. And so we're very excited about what the future holds for Magna here with the Battle Creek Area Chamber of Commerce. So welcome to our 3 wonderful new members. We hope that you're able to work with them in some shape or form. If you are looking for contact information for each of those, you can find that on our member online portal. If you go onto our chamber website, you can search our membership and all of their contact information will be on there. Also, just kind of a quick second to really talk about as organizations begin to return from months of remote work or adjust to the new normal of remote work and continued distancing, workplace culture has been more important and never been more tested than it is right now. You're starting to see this in a lot of news stories. For those of you who remember, it was just 2 weeks ago is when the office ban was lifted here in Michigan. So we can actually start going back to work in office settings. And so we're excited about it because we have not been working in our offices. So we just wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit about it, and I'm going to open up the floor. So if you want to say something really quick, our question is how have you returned to in-person office work since the ban was lifted 2 weeks ago? Anybody?
This is Mary from Disability Network. I can just quickly toss in there. It has actually totally reconfigured how we do business in our office. Our Kalamazoo office, which is our main office, as far as our direct service personnel, are going primarily remote. And then a reconfiguration of our office space or their former office spaces will be basically just hubs that they can come and plug into. Obviously, they can still see customers in person there in the office, but because we are out in the community so much anyway, meeting with individuals, then I think they freed up some of that space. For me in the Battle Creek office, I'm going to be more of a hybrid. So I will still have some office hours. It kind of remains to be seen, but again, doing a lot of operation from a home office. It's been an interesting switch. And in some ways we've realized that we can actually reach more people more quickly. And then other ways there are still barriers. So that we're still working out those kinks. But a lot of our community education piece has actually reached many, many more people because people can Zoom in for community education workshops that perhaps weren't able to make it physically in the past.
At Michigan Works, we're very similar to Mary. We found that we found a new way of reaching people. Transportation is a big issue, so we actually reach more people virtually at times. And Michigan Works, as of right now, we are open by appointment only Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we're in the office. July 1st, we'll see what changes if we're opening up more days a week, but it sounds like some of us will be working from home a little more too, but it's been, like Mary said, interesting that we've been able to find. It's not as bad as we thought. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So the reason why I bring this topic up is one of the things that you're seeing with news stories across the country is that with this new return to work and remote work and this hybrid model, what places are starting to see is brick and mortar. A huge impact on the commercial real estate because folks are finding that they don't need these large offices because of hybrid models. If they're not going to be in the office, why are they having this? So I bring that up today because we have such a great presentation about what's going on in the housing market, and how this has impacted, this remote work has impacted people buying homes, and how they need a little bit more space. Maybe they have an extra room that they're looking for. So we're going to kind of dive into that a little bit today, I'm sure, with Ryan and Esther. But I did want to make mention of, this is something that we are following. There are a lot of national studies out there for employers. If you are an employer or a supervisor or just an employee, if you haven't seen those statistics that the national study has done, for example, Verizon did a national study, and 57%, and I know I've talked about this, but 57% of employees were willing to leave their current jobs if a remote work was not included, or a hybrid model was not included into their work plan. So really looking at that workplace culture and what does that mean, and making sure that we retain our talent is going to be important and vital to our community here. So if you have other things that you'd like to share with me about that, please send an email, and I would love to chat with you, set up a meeting. We can do it virtually or in person, and we can go from there. But I just wanted to talk about that question because it is different. We definitely seen it here in the office, as each one of our staff works 1 day a week, and then in the office, and on one day, all of us are in. So which is Thursdays. So it's just really different. And you miss your staff. So, and your friends and your family, as I like to call them. So, but just think about that question and all of the workplace culture that is being tested right now. All right. I do have another slide. All right. So member anniversaries. I apologize that this is so small, but we'll go through it really quick. Member anniversaries means that these folks have celebrated their annual anniversary with us, and they haven't missed a payment. They have continued their membership throughout these years. And so at 50 years, we have Bedford Charter Township, Blue Ox Credit Union, Kellogg Community College. At 40 years, we have Kellogg Arena. At 30 years, Insurance Network Agency, Inc. 25 years of Battle Creek Unlimited, Inc. 20 years is CM Contracting, Inc. and CSE Morse, Inc. and Progressive Printing and Graphics. For 15 years, we have Battle Creek Public Schools, Brookside Surgery Center, Comcast Cable Communications, LLC, WMU's College of Aviation. 10 years is Flagstar Bank, MyPays, Paychecks, Sir Pizza BC LLC, and Troxel Realty Company LLC. 5 years goes to Family and Children's Services, Mr. Don's Restaurant, Plumeria Botanical Boutique, and Town Place Suites. Congratulations to all of those members who are celebrating an anniversary this year, or these next 2 months. We greatly appreciate your continuous support, and we love that you are a part of our organization. So a big round of applause to you. I love that. Woo-hoo, yeah. Sorry, the coffee hasn't kicked in yet, folks. All right. So for those of you who don't know about our Field Trip Friday, Field Trip Fridays are a special day for us here at the Chamber office. And that is where we actually go live from different places in our community. We try and focus on members that people don't always see, so that they can see the other side of what's going on. We give them a little bit of information, share some of their story, but also it's just a quick opportunity to check in with our members throughout this time. And we are excited that we're going to be going live on June 25th for a field trip for all of you crazy animals out there at Binder Park Zoo on June 25th. So if you're looking for those, we do those Facebook Live, but then we also do share those to our YouTube channel so that you can go back and check those out. So join us for our Field Trip Fridays. Those are a virtual opportunity for you to check out and see what's going on at Binder Park Zoo on June 25th. Also, we have a golf outing coming up. This is one of our live in-person events that we are hoping to see as many of you as possible. We always laugh when we like to say, however you cut it, we want to see you there. And so that is on Friday, June 18th, which is next Friday. And that is an 8:30 registration and a 9 o'clock tee time. We are going to do a shotgun start so that everybody is there at the same time so that you guys can see each other. It is an outdoor event. We are working on bringing in number of our caterers and food trucks for you guys rather than the typical golf outing, hot dogs and hamburgers on the grill. You will be able to enjoy some of our local eateries that we are hoping to be able to bring to you that day. Lots of fun games. It will be perfect Chamber of Commerce weather, as you know. Fingers crossed. And so we are excited about that. We do have some spots available. If you are interested, you can reach out to me through an email. And also all of this information is on battlecreek.org and you can pull the application.
I'm sorry.
All right. The next thing that we are very excited to announce is that we will be doing Backyard Burgers and Brews Fest on August 28th, 2021. That is our annual event that we do right here in downtown Battle Creek. It will be live music. There will be walking beers, of course, because we are able to utilize our social district this year. But just a lot of great fun that's happening. We announced it to our food trucks. It is on all of their calendars. And I have already 15 food trucks that will be here for our Backyard Burgers and Brews Fest. And we expect more to come. But August 28th from 6 to 11 p.m. We typically have 2 to 3 bands playing throughout that area. It's a fun event. Be looking for more information to come, but we are excited to be able to have that live in-person event. In 2019, we had over 5,000 people downtown for this event. And so we are really excited about what's going on.
That thing you do.
All right. Next up, we are going to be introducing our speakers. So one thing is I've stalked Esther and Ryan for this beautiful picture of them and with eXp Realty. Esther and Ryan Leonard own the Leonard Group here in town. And I could try and introduce Ryan and Esther, but I think they do a really great job of doing that. And so I'm going to turn it over to them. They are dear friends. They are members of our chamber. And we are excited to have them talk to us about what's going on with the housing market and everything that's going on. One of my very first questions I have is, you guys were able to announce in 2020 a large number of local homes that you guys sold, and you used it on as advertising. And I think that that's something that is really impressive. And so I hope that you guys will talk about that as well. Ryan, I know that you want to share your screen, right?
Yes, I do. I thought I was unmuted already.
All right. So I'm going to turn it over to you guys to do a little introduction and why you guys chose eXp, because you weren't with eXp forever. So why don't you go ahead and share that?
So, yeah, so again, we're Ryan and Esther Leonard, and we are broker owners at eXp Realty here in Battle Creek. We've been with eXp Realty for about 3 years now. We left another brokerage in town for this new up and coming brick and mortar free real estate model, which with everything that's going on is pretty timely, and the company's growing fast locally. Esther and I were the number 2 and 3 eXp agents in the area, at Battle Creek and surrounding areas, not including Kalamazoo. And now we're up to close to 50 eXp agents in just a short period of time. So we're real happy with the switch. And Esther, would you like to say anything?
Well, I guess the EXP model is what they call a cloud-based brokerage. And there's a lot of talk about cloud-based stuff now, but this was pre-COVID. It seemed like forever ago. It was only 3 years ago. It was very forward-thinking. We like the idea that it's a cloud-based, does not require brick and mortar. That doesn't mean that we are avatars showing houses. We actually do that. We unlock a lot of doors all day long. But it's great to have our admin and our support staff, hundreds of them actually behind the scenes that we don't interact with face to face, and yet they are serving us and our agents all the time via a cloud-based model. So that's been cool and it's been successful, and it was providential, I guess you could say, that all that was put in place prior to COVID and lockdowns and all of that. So with that, I guess we'll get started with what's happening in real estate.
Yeah, Esther is gonna, we're gonna do like diamond and silk. Esther's gonna give the presentation, and I'm just gonna give her encouraging facial expressions as we go, so.
I have to say, you guys are all very brave to allow Ryan to share his screen with you, because hopefully it's what I prepared, which is not very techy, but here's hoping everything it goes okay. All right. Hit it with the next slide. Nope. All right, so what's happening in real estate? And if you talk to any real estate brokers or salespersons right now, the answer is it's all happening. It's all happening at the same time, and everyone is jumping on board, whether it's buying, selling, leasing, VRBOing, it's actually a thing, multi-generational housing. A lot of things are changing. A lot of dynamics are changing after COVID and after lockdowns and figuring new things out. But yes, it's all happening. This one. We get asked a lot, did real estate come to a screeching halt in 2020 like a lot of businesses did? And the answer is no. Let's take a quick look at how 2020 actually brought us to where we are today in Calhoun County. So despite major and obvious challenges, Calhoun County realtors moved just shy of $254 million worth of real estate in 2020. That's during lockdown, during who knows what's going on. Everything did come to a screeching halt. We were not allowed to show homes for about 6 or 8 weeks. But despite these major and obvious challenges, Calhoun County realtors moved $254 million worth of real estate in your backyard during 2020. So during that time, the average sold price was just over $152,000 in Calhoun County, with an average of 34 days on the market. And that has significantly changed in the last 12 months. During that time, your realtors found ways to offer virtual tours, conduct showings with minimal people present and minimal surfaces touched. Our state association was able to present a "we can work safely" plan to our governor, which was approved, resulting in real estate being classified as essential work after that initial 8 weeks. I even did a drive-through closing, believe it or not, with our friends at Devon Title, with a client who was a medical professional and was not allowed to actually be in a room with anyone else. But Devon made the appropriate arrangements, and their building used to have a drive-through bank situation. And it was just very cool to see how we could pivot to get things closed and get her to her next move. So 2020 taught us all a lot. I'm sure we could go around the room here and talk about what did you learn from 2020? How did you grow? How did your character develop? One thing I think we could all agree on is that it turns out we don't need what we thought we needed. And that has certainly been true for real estate as well. The ability to work from home, the ability to have virtual school options, showed us that if we have an internet connection, we might not need to live in the school district we thought we needed to live in. We may not need to worry so much about commute times and all of that. That in fact, with the crazy low interest rates available, we might be able to buy that huge house in the country and work next to the pool for the same monthly payment that we've been working in the city with for a very long time. And like I think we've pointed out earlier as well, with all of us doing school and work from home, we learned that we need more space. So nationwide, real estate has seen some trends, including larger home purchases or the purchase of a weekend property as long as it has internet access. Turns out Zoom meetings can happen from there as well. And I couldn't even tell you, looking at you right now, are you at your vacation home? Are you at the office? Are you at your house? Turns out it all works. I am personally convinced that during COVID, during lockdowns, we all sat around and we watched a lot of HGTV, we ate a lot of snacks, and we all got pre-qualified for a new great mortgage. And that might explain some of the supply and demand going on in our market today. So nationwide, it became a seller's market. There's lots of reasons for that, and I'll go into some of them in detail, but I thought you would like to zone in very specifically on Calhoun County and what it means to us here. So in May 2020, our median list price was $149,900. Last month, May 2021, that number had jumped to $207,500. So the good news is your home is worth more now than it ever has been in the past. We have far surpassed our pre-bubble burst numbers in 2006, 2007, 2008, and your property is worth a lot more there. So Economics 101, it's a basic principle that when there is a large demand and low supply, the prices go up. And that is certainly what we have seen in Calhoun County this year. The available inventory of homes on the market today is 61% less than it was 12 months ago. Most price points across Calhoun County are up in value a solid 20% and climbing. People say, is this going to continue? Well, Esther. Did I hear a question out there? Sorry. No? Okay. So people are asking us a lot, are we going to continue to see these prices rising? And I don't see it slowing down anytime soon, as long as that very basic supply and demand thing continues on. Like I said, a lot of people spent their time while they were in lockdown getting pre-qualified for a new mortgage, and rates are so good right now and the demand is so high that I have to believe that, I'm not going to say it's going to continue to jump crazy numbers, but it's not a bubble. I can tell you that. And we'll go into that more on this next slide. So is this whole crazy seller's market, is it a bubble? No, it's not. There's a few different opinions on this, but I'm going to speak just from Battle Creek market and what we're seeing here. The prices are up not because of poorly vetted buyers like it was back in 2006, but because we literally have probably at least 15 pre-qualified buyers for every listing that hits the market. So it's going to take a long time to shake that out. Even if we got rid of half of our demand, we would still have not enough supply, not enough inventory to show our people. Dr. Lawrence Yoon is a very impressive gentleman, a scholar. He's a chief economist at the National Association of Realtors. I've had the pleasure of meeting with him and speaking with him. And he said recently, this is not a bubble. It is simply lack of supply. There are not enough homes on the market right now. It's not 2006. Housing inventories are low. Credit remains tight. Lenders are not issuing risky loans like they did back then. Product risks, such as from mortgages with introductory periods, teaser rates, or balloon payments, Back in 2006, 2007, those comprised 40% of what was going on. More recently, those factors are only at 2% of the mortgage market, according to Morgan Stanley in a recent article. Also, the housing market has a record low number of homes available for sale. At the end of March, there were 1.07 million homes available for sale nationwide, according to NAR data. For comparison, during the housing bubble in July 2007, there were more than 4 times that. So this is a completely different picture, supply and demand. There are very few homes available for sale, lots of people that want to buy your house.
Esther, we have a question in the chat.
Yes.
And it's, are you seeing appraisals coming in at sale price, or are people putting more cash down to offset the difference?
We're seeing both, actually. I mean, every once in a while, we're putting together an offer and say a prayer like, this is what my buyer is willing to spend. I have no idea if it's going to appraise at that value. And believe it or not, consistently, we are seeing appraisals coming in at value, sometimes more than. I'll give you a snapshot. We had a client recently purchase a little home in Lakeview, a 2-bedroom. We were talking about a price of about $115,000. And let's see, jump in here, Ryan, help me remember how that went.
Yeah, we were gonna list the house at 115,000. A buyer came along before we actually got the house on the market, and they negotiated a price of 135,000, and it appraised at 141,000. So we're seeing appraisals come in at value, but we are still seeing appraisals come in low sometimes. So appraisers aren't necessarily just trying to satisfy, and get and make the deal go through easily. But with that, we're seeing buyers that are willing to pay the difference out of their pocket. If they're willing to pay $150,000 for the house and it appraises at 125,000, buyers are saying, let's keep this deal together. I'll pay the difference out of my pocket because I need a house down.
Yeah, it's true. And there's a lot of cash buyers out there. Part of that is that due to COVID, things that happened, people were allowed to cash out their 401ks and their investment accounts without penalty. And what they did with that was become the cash buyers that were competing with the rest of us in the market. So it's been a very hard market for first-time buyers. Primarily because they are competing with not only conventional loan products, but cash offers, a lot of which has been due to people cashing out investment accounts and then putting the money back in the investment accounts after they win the bid on the real estate. So it's a lot to wrap your head around. It's been very difficult for buyers agents. We're seeing multiple bids on almost every listing. And it's hard to to lose those deals, not just as an agent, but if you are needing your next larger home, it's heartbreaking to get rejected time after time after time, not because you're not putting in strong offers or offers that are over list price significantly, but because you're losing out to cash buyers time and time again. So our hearts go out to all of those first-time buyers. You can win your bids. It takes some strategy.
Yeah, strategy.
Strategy and dealing with a licensed professional is super important right now. We get asked a lot, so if it's not a bubble, when will things get back to normal? Well, interest rates are super low right now. You can buy a much larger, much more expensive house now than you could even 2 years ago for the same monthly payment. So not that I want interest rates to go higher, but we will see some more normalcy if and when they do. When interest rates rise, when contractors get back to work, when lumber pricing gets back to normal and the housing industry can be building more things at an affordable rate, things will even out. But we're seeing things in every single school district, and I thought we'd go through I know we're pretty competitive here. I thought we'd look at our 4 main school districts in Battle Creek. And so the outliers like Gull Lake, Marshall, Albion, I did not include, but I can get you the stats if you need them for your own personal use. Penfield schools, any Penfield Panthers out there? We currently have four active listings in all of Penfield schools. That's incredible. Think about the last few years driving up and down, going to your errands, seeing all the for sale signs. You don't see that right now. All of Penfield School District has only 4 active listings and 18 that are currently under contract. And I can't tell you how many people are stalking those active listings. That's why you see multiple bids, competing bids every time there's a listing. The listing goes up, the bids start coming in, the offers start coming in, and we are not seeing the offers from 5 years ago where I'll throw them an offer and see if they go for it. No, you come in, the list price is what we refer to now as the opening bid. You will not likely secure that property for that price. It will need to be lots over that list price if you're going to secure it. And this is not just true in Calhoun County, this is nationwide. And we are actually following the trend more slowly than Kalamazoo or Grand Rapids, whose markets are even hotter than our own here. Lakeview Schools, we have 11 active listings and 45 currently under contract. Lakeview Schools are, everybody wants it. Everyone wants a house. I mean, they don't even care. They just need a house so bad. Battle Creek Schools, we have 35 active listings with 71 currently under contract. We've already covered, is it a bubble? So I think I've covered most of those.
Harper Creek.
Harper Creek, oh yes. Yeah, Mr. Harper Creek himself here. Can't go to Myers without someone saying, remember the football of 1988 where we beat somebody? Harper Creek has 14 active listing with 26 currently under contract. So this is what I mean by supply and demand. There is no inventory out there. You can sell your home for more now than you ever could before. However, you're going to be faced with that same challenge the next purchase. You can sell your house for high dollar, but you're going to have to pay high dollar for your next place. But the good news is the interest rates are so low that the difference is often made up in that monthly payment staying the same, even at a higher price point. I've done a lot of talking. I guess I'll let this.
I'll just add one more thing. If you guys know anybody that's about ready to buy a house, in the past, people when they go into the buying market, they see a house on Zillow, they call the listing agent or their buyer's agent and say, hey, can I see this house? I'm looking to buy a house. Today, the best way to do it is if you or somebody wants to buy a house and or sell your current house and buy. You need to get together with whichever agent you prefer. Sit down and make a strategy and make it a long thought out strategy on how you're gonna make it work. And if you have a good realtor, there's ways. It can be complicated, but it's definitely sit down and make a strategy first. Or you might find yourself homeless.
True.
That's it. Thank you, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you. So with this information, Esther and Ryan, it really looks like the houses are selling tremendously. And I know Jeff is on as well from Horizon Bank. We're also seeing a lot of people refinance their homes because the rates are so low. You talk about 15 buyers for every one house that is available. Does it look as though there are more people looking to move into the area, or is it more of people who are already existing like here that are just moving into the different areas? Like, are we looking at new potential buyers into the Calhoun County market, or are they looking more, or is it just people moving within? I guess is my question.
I think it's probably all of the above. One factor that we're seeing play out, and this is nationwide and also Calhoun County, is traditionally you'd have people age and they'd sell their big house and they'd move to a smaller house, and then they'd go to a condo, and then they go to retirement community. And people now are able to age in place because the professionals are available, and they can go into their home and adjust. So we have all these baby boomers that are aging in their original family homes and not moving out of those, making room for the newer families. That's fine. I mean, that is your right. If you want to age in place and you have the ability to do that, I certainly am going to encourage my parents to do that. It's a beautiful thing to be able to stay in the family home and the home that you love. But what it's doing is it is not opening up those properties for the younger buyers, the Generation Xers, the millennials, the whatever the one before that is. They're all getting ready to buy right now. And there's not inventory that's open for them to purchase. So we are seeing people, younger buyers that are now ready to buy. My son Reagan is 21 and he just bought his first house last summer. And he's not alone. There's a lot of really young buyers that are jumping in that market. But also we're seeing people, the inventory that is opening up is sometimes people heading for different job opportunities, or heading to states that actually were open before Michigan, and they were like, I'm out of here. Yeah. So their homes became inventory that was quickly snatched up. But on the flip side, we also have some clients from Idaho that were not happy with how Idaho was operating during COVID, and they liked how Michigan was operating. And so they are moving from Idaho to Michigan now because they can work remotely, and they're happy with the way Michigan has handled everything. So it's been a very interesting dynamic, things changing a lot for many different reasons.
Hey, Kara, one other thing we're seeing is people that were first-time home buyers during when the market crashed back in 06, 7, 8, that bought their first home. Now they've got those houses fixed up, and they are worth, they bought it for $16,000, and now it's worth $90,000 or $125,000. And their families have grown since then. Those people are selling those houses that they've got a lot of equity in trying to buy their dream home. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, you mentioned the cost of construction and how expensive it is right now, which if you talk to anybody that is in construction, they will tell you it's astronomical. But one of the things that it sticks out in my head was probably about 4 years ago. And it was the Upjohn Institute had given the economic update. And I think you guys were there as well. And it had talked about that we had no new builds in Calhoun County, and it didn't even blip up. And so I'm just wondering, are we seeing more new construction going on at all? Because we need it, of course, because we don't have the housing market. And so that concerns me that we still are still not seeing that growth of neighborhoods. I know we have a couple, but I also know of a story of somebody who was looking at new construction. They were in the process of it, and now all of a sudden the cost has jumped 30%.
Yes.
In the midst of them building. I mean, it's a lot to build new. So I just was wondering, are you seeing any new builds coming in, or?
There's some, the Albion Olivet area is seeing quite a bit more than Battle Creek. We do have some new construction in Battle Creek. There's some new condos, some great new condos with our office that are heading out there in the Climax School District. But I believe there's 6 of them that are pre-builds that are already under contract. So it's almost like people get wind of, oh, there's new construction happening. Let me get that contract signed. And then, like you said, sometimes prices are changing, which is scary. It's scary for the builders also. If they've committed to build a home and their cost goes up 30%, that's a profit margin right there. So it's a real problem, and it's a scary thing to be either the builder or the one buying the property, because prices are in such fluctuation. And contractor demand is in such, contractors are in such demand also to get even the basic jobs done. We're having a hard time finding people who are willing to work.
Well, this is awesome stuff. So thank you so much. And I do have one last thing. What is your final thing, one final thought on the housing market right now in Calhoun County?
Final thought?
Sell your house.
Call or text us. We want to sell your house.
Call an agent today and say, I'd love to sell my house, and sit down and get that's what's constantly on every realtor's mind right now is we need people to sell their houses, but you all know that people aren't, it's hard to find that next house and get in that bidding war. So that's why you need a strategy.
Yeah.
Use
a licensed professional.
During the pandemic, I stepped into Lowe's and was talking with some folks there and asking how it was going. And when people were getting the stimulus checks, the amount of decks and the amount of things that like kits that were being built on homes and the updating, home improvement was definitely a big pastime of a lot of people during the pandemic. So a lot of these houses have some improvements that have gone on.
But you're seeing a lot of decks that are half done, half done because the lumber prices went up.
Yeah. So, I think that that's something to be said. And I'm glad to see people putting some investment back into their homes and that the values are going up. I think it's great that the land bank has had such great success with the 50 programs. Those are all things that are building. We do have record numbers of job opportunities here in Calhoun County. So if you are somebody who is thinking about selling your home or moving into a different area of Battle Creek or Calhoun County, contact a local real estate agent. We really hope that you can find a way to stay here in Calhoun County. We'd love to see you stay. Keep making improvements to your homes and let's keep building that value. So thank you all very much. Thank you to Esther and Ryan and eXp Realty and your team over on Columbia Avenue.
Thank you, Kara.
And the Oak Ridge, is it?
Yep. Oak Ridge Office Park. That's where we are, building 485.
Office Park. So if you are looking for real estate agents, you can check out our website at battlecreek.org and it lists all of our member agents. So please be sure to check that out. Thank you all so much and have a fabulous Tuesday.